Welcome to the deep dive. Today's sources are really about decoding two very different kinds of information.
That's right.
One is, the specialized vocabulary of the butcher shop, very practical. And the other is the silent, often devastating language of a collapsing relationship. Quite different.
Yeah, they seem totally disconnected at first glance, don't they? A language lesson on meat cuts, and then this really raw narrative about infidelity.
Exactly. But our mission today, as always, is to pull out what connects them. What's the skill they both demand from you?
And we think it's this: advanced intentional observation, really paying attention.
Whether you're tracking cuts of beef or subtle shifts in someone's behavior, it seems like the small details often reveal the biggest truths.
That's the idea. So let's unpack this. Where should we start? Butcher shop.
Let's do it. Immediate practical knowledge. The material sets this slightly, high-stakes scene visiting the butcher, which kind of implies you need to know your stuff, or you might not get what you want.
It really does. And the source jumps right into terminology. First key distinction: the animal versus the meat.
Right. Pig is the animal, pork is the meat.
Exactly. We say pork for the meat. That separation is fundamental in, well, culinary language pretty much everywhere.
And then it moves to cuts, like pork chop.
Yeah, a piece of pork, usually with the bone in, fried or baked, often. The word chop itself kind of suggests that cutting action.
Makes sense. Then ground beef. This feels like a basic one, but the description is specific.
It is beef that's been, put through a machine, chopped into small bits, no bone.
Perfect for things like burgers or bolognese.
Right, and the force mentions the verb to grind. The etymology is there.
Yeah, I like that connection. You grind beef, you grind pepper.
Or you grind your teeth. Or maybe more relevant to the second source, trust can be slowly ground down. It implies this persistent, sometimes slow, destructive action.
Ooh, interesting parallel. Though in the kitchen, it's just about making it smaller, more usable. Okay, we briefly touched on chicken. Specifically, boneless chicken breast. Seems straightforward, tender, juicy cut.
Yeah, popular choice. The source notes thighs were offered when breasts weren't available, just a small detail there.
But then it jumps to cold cuts. These are more
Yeah.
deli counter items, right?
Yeah.
What actually defines a cold cut? Is it just that they're eaten cold?
Not necessarily just the temperature, no. It's more of the preservation method. They're cured or dried meats, often salt preserved.
Ah, so they last longer.
Yeah, exactly. Allows them to last a long time. Kind of like beef jerky. It's actually a historical method making sure the product is shelf stable.
And that gives us things like salami, pastrami.
And bologna, yes. All those deli staples. Ham, too, if it's sliced from, say, a smoked tube or similar preparation.
Ah, Bologna. The source makes a point about the spelling. B-O-L-O-G-N-A.
Right, from the Italian city. But we all pronounce it bologna, don't we?
Yeah, it's one of those funny linguistic things hidden right there in the deli case. Okay, moving on. Here's where it gets, I think, really interesting for anyone who likes a good steak. The taxonomy, the different cuts.
Yes, this can be confusing because names can vary slightly. But the source focuses on 3 key types. Knowing these makes a big difference in flavor, texture, and, well, price.
So first up, T-bone.
Named very obviously for that T-shaped bone running through it. You can't miss it. It's a classic steakhouse cut.
Very visual. Okay, then the ribeye. How's that different?
Well, it's cut from the rib section, as the name suggests. It does have a small piece of bone, sometimes looks a bit like an eye, hence ribeye.
Okay.
But the real appeal, the defining feature of a ribeye, is a marbling, the fat distributed through the muscle.
Ah, so not just around the edge.
Exactly. Unlike the T-bone, which might have a leaner side and a fattier side, the ribeye is known for intense flavor because of that internal fat.
Got it. That marbling equals flavor. And the third one, sirloin.
Sirloin. The source identifies this as typically having no bone.
No bone at all.
Right. And it's often described as the most tender. And frequently, yes, the most expensive, especially in fine dining.
Okay, wait. Why is the sirloin, being boneless, often the most expensive? Is it just location on the cow, or is there, extra work involved?
It's mostly about the muscle itself.
Yeah.
The sirloin comes from a part of the animal, a muscle group, that does less work. Think about it. Leg muscles, shoulder muscles, they work hard.
Right. More movement.
Exactly. Less active muscles mean less connective tissue develops. And less connective tissue means greater tenderness. That naturally tender texture is what drives the premium price.
That makes total sense. Less work equals more tender equals higher price. Okay.
Basically, yeah.
Before we shift gears, we need to nail down the word lean. The source emphasizes this is a commercial term tied to fat content.
Absolutely crucial point. It has nothing to do with, leaning against something.
Right, not about posture.
No. Lean in food means it doesn't have much fat. Poultry is often considered lean. Or people might cut the fat off a steak to make it leaner.
And you see it on packaging all the time.
Yeah. Yes. Supermarket packages will often state the percentage. 95% lean ground beef means only 5% of that weight is fat. It's a direct measure for consumers thinking about health or texture.
A very clear, measurable thing. Okay, so that covers the butcher's lexicon. Now we pivot.
We do. We move from this very specific vocabulary of meat cuts to the more flexible, coded language of idioms.
And this feels like the perfect bridge to the second source, because idioms are all about saying one thing but meaning another. Using language to conceal or signal something subtly.
Precisely. We're focusing first on that key phrase, if you know what I mean.
Such a common phrase. What's its function?
It's basically a tool for insinuation, a wink-wink, nudge-nudge kind of thing. It signals a double meaning or implies something without stating it directly. It can be quite subtle or not so subtle.
Social camouflage, you called it.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
The source gives a couple of great examples. The butcher saying, "Our ground beef is extra lean," if you know what I mean.
Right there, it's probably implying quality, like really good stuff, better than average.
Okay. But the other example feels more typical. She's eating for two, if you know what I mean.
Yes, and that clearly doesn't mean she's literally ordering 2 meals.
No, I mean she's pregnant.
Exactly. It's a widely understood code, an idiom, to suggest pregnancy without saying the word. It relies entirely on the listener getting the context.
Reading between the lines. It's all about that implied meaning.
Definitely. The source also touches on some counting phrases. Half a dozen.
Simple enough. 6. Since a dozen is 12.
Right. And that connects to another idiom, a dime a dozen.
Meaning something is really common, easy to get.
Yeah, common, cheap, maybe lacking uniqueness or special value. If someone's a dime a dozen, it's everywhere.
Okay, that idea, commonness, maybe low value, that actually feels like a really good, if maybe a bit bleak, transition to the second source.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. If the first half was about decoding language at the butcher counter, this second half is about decoding the unspoken language, the subtle cues of betrayal. We're shifting from analyzing cuts of meat to analyzing, well, cuts of emotional distance.
It's a dramatic shift, for sure. The second source is this very personal narrative. It starts, interestingly, by describing a simple, positive foundation for the relationship.
Right. Coffee, walks, feeling safe, her partner calling her special. They didn't have much money, but the belief was that love was enough.
That initial picture of safety is important because the tragedy lies in how subtly it was dismantled.
And it starts with those behavioral changes, the little things that add up. He starts coming home late, the excuse, always more work.
Classic excuse. And then the spatial separation you mentioned. Checking his phone in another room, taking calls outside.
That physical distance, pulling away, literally.
It speaks volumes, doesn't it? And the source details the emotional distance that followed. He wasn't really listening when she talked, stopped helping around the house, just seemed far away.
God, that sounds incredibly lonely, being right next to someone who feels miles away emotionally.
It's a profound kind of loneliness. And when she tried to address it, asked if something was wrong.
She got deflection, minimizing language. Nothing is wrong, or, yeah, just tired. That verbal camouflage again, just like the if, you know what I mean, but used to hide, not hint.
Exactly. It's linguistic deflection and just as deliberate. Which brings us to the physical evidence, the aha moments as the source presents them. Things observation finally confirmed.
These are the undeniable details. Lipstick on his collar, definitely not her color.
A crucial detail.
Perfume on his jacket, and the source notes he never wore perfume or cologne before.
That's a big flag. A sudden change in scent like that.
And other changes too, right? Using new words, changing his haircut.
It's like signs of a new self being constructed, but maybe for someone else.
Yeah. And the climax, the moment of undeniable proof, came when she called his office on a Sunday. He claimed he was working.
But the office phone just rang and rang. No answer.
The final nail, though, was checking his phone.
Yes. The source is very direct here. Messages from someone named Rachel, calling him my love, asking when they'd meet again.
And Daniel's own text, soon my wife does not know. Just cold, complete concealment.
Devastatingly clear.
So the confrontation happens the next morning. She keeps it simple. Who is Rachel?
And his immediate reaction, minimize, deflect. It was nothing. A small thing, I made a mistake. downplaying it instantly.
But she pushed, asked the ultimate question, do you love Rachel?
And he couldn't answer directly. Looked away, looked at the floor, said, I don't know.
Wow, that I don't know is almost worse than a yes, isn't it? That indecision speaks volumes.
It's incredibly revealing, and the wife's response was just decisive. She took control, packed her clothes, essentials only.
And placed the house key on the table.
That simple act, leaving the key, such a powerful symbol of finality. Then she left to stay with her friend Emma.
And predictably, Daniel tried to backtrack. Started sending messages, right? Claiming he'd ended it with Rachel.
Many messages, yes. But the wife's perspective, according to the source, was very clear-eyed. She didn't believe him. Why?
Because he only stopped after he got called. Not before. It wasn't about choosing her. It was about consequence.
Exactly. The timing undermined any claim of genuine remorse or change of heart.
Their final meeting in the park, that felt like the real ending.
It did. He admitted he was not happy, felt lost, the typical justifications perhaps.
And asked for one more chance.
But she refused. And her reasoning was just this perfect synthesis of everything. You looked at me every day, you said I love you, but you also said it to her.
Oof. No ambiguity there. Just the plain, painful truth.
And her final word was simply, goodbye, Daniel. Clean break.
The last part of the source really focuses on the aftermath, building a new life. And it's not portrayed as easy or quick. It's work.
Painstaking work. It describes a detailed routine. Waking up early, eating well, walking, cleaning the flat, even forcing herself to smile sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like that grinding idea again, but constructive this time. Grinding out a new existence.
Replacing the destructive grind of the past.
Right. And we see these small, concrete steps towards recovery and self-care. Buying a plant for her room, writing in a notebook.
And finding a new, simple connection. Helen, the woman with the small dog. Nothing dramatic, just a quiet, normal interaction.
It all points towards healing, towards moving on. The narrative states very clearly she feels done with that past life.
So quite a journey. We've gone from the butcher's lexicon, T-bones, ribeyes, lean percentages, to the really complex, painful vocabulary of human betrayal and recovery.
It's fascinating, isn't it? How both halves of this deep dive, seemingly worlds apart, hinge on the same core skill.
Which is?
Careful observation and synthesis, paying attention to the details and putting them together to understand the bigger picture.
Absolutely. Whether it's spotting the shape of the bone in a T-bone steak or noticing new perfume on a jacket, knowledge comes from looking closely at the evidence provided.
You have to see the details. Look at the structure of the T-bone, understand the cut. Pay attention to the lipstick shade, the late nights, the phone calls outside. Understand the lie.
Both sources really showed how language and behavior can be used to conceal, if you know what I mean, can hide intent, just like lying about working late hides an affair.
But also how language can be used to rebuild. Those simple words in the new routine, wake up early, eat well, walk, smile. The simple goodbye. Those are powerful too.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you listening?
Well, the personal narrative ends with that strong statement that life was over. My new life had started.
Yeah.
So considering all the detail we heard about the emotional pain, the confusion, but also that slow, deliberate process of finally leaving, here's something to think about. What do you see as the greatest difference between actively choosing to end a painful situation like she did, and perhaps just waiting passively for that situation to fizzle out or end on its own?